vote for something when you're against it, just so maybe something on your agenda will, get that vote for you, where you're making that deal? How often does that happen to you?
I would say the same thing, that it's very rare, and when it's principle, it's no. And one of the nice things, too, is as you lay that out early on, and I know both Senator Lawson and I did, when we went into the legislature, this is what I believe, this is who I am, this is what I stand for. You know what, they don't even come and ask me anymore on things where they know I believe a certain way, they don't even bother. It's the ones that are wishy-washy, well, let me think about it, I'll get back to you. Boy, they're getting hammered all the time with, compromise on this, give me this, the horse trading. And it's just it's a pretty small number that are in the middle that we see kind of wavering, blowing in the wind of who's offering what. For me, I've made it very clear of what I believe, why I believe it, what is important in my district, and so it's a nice benefit of that oftentimes they want to come and talk to me on something that is a compromise of that. Yes, sir.
I think you said you said that you've got the machine and has to have the backing. You said about being blunt, so I guess what is your battle plan for you? Because truly, you're in a battle that you have to go against the Republican machine down there. I mean, can you give some insights as far as how do you think you can dismantle that?
I can, and I'm not sure, it's really two different battles. I think one is right now, in the next 3.5 weeks, and this is part of it, just getting the word out, asking you to be advocates for me, that my commitment, and I've got a record, which is really different than my opponent, of public service, of running for office, of saying, I want to be accountable to the people who elect me. I'm not going to be perfect, but I'm going to be responsive to you. I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to be open to you. I want to learn from you. I'm not going to have every single answer. So that battle, I absolutely believe, is won through word of mouth. That people are sick and tired of people flying in from Washington, D.C. and saying, this is your person. This is the person you should elect. And we're seeing that, and we're tired of it. So what I'm appealing is, you decide. This isn't the Foster seat. This isn't the Hastert seat. This is the 14th Congressional District seat. This is your seat. It's not their seat to own, to hold on to as long as they want to wills to somebody else. This is your seat to decide who should best represent you. And I think we need to return to that idea that this Congress, too, I think is unique. It's different than anything else that we've got. It is our most direct link to federal government. Our U.S. Congressman is our voice, our ears in Washington, D.C., and they should be responsive to us. We should see them out in the community, at church, at the barber shop, at a coffee shop, at the library, walking along the street. We should be able to bump into our congressman and say, hey, I need to talk to you. I've got something important. Or be able to pick up the phone and talk directly to our congressman. You know what? We don't have that right now. And we haven't had it for a while. I think part of it is current congressman, I just don't think he really enjoys that. He just doesn't enjoy getting out and meeting people. So he's just not back here much. I don't see him. I'm all over the place. I just don't see him anywhere. The congressman before, again, I liked a lot, but I think he had other things that just took him away. And, it was cool for a while to see a helicopter fly in with him and then fly back out with him. You see that once, that's cool. But, I want a congressman who's right here, who's listening to us, who's available, that I know if something's burning me up, I can call him up and say, this is important. I need you to respond to me. So right now, that's what we're doing, is just connecting with people. We're going everywhere. We're talking to as many folks as we can. We need your help to help spread the word of why this race is important. It's tough, too, because our friends down in Springfield, for their good friend Barack Obama, moved the primary date up in Illinois to February 2nd. Other states were wise enough to move theirs back to a normal time. Ours is still February 2nd, so 3.5 weeks away. And people just aren't really paying attention yet. A lot of people aren't. So we need your help to help people engage, to see that this is important. It's important who represents us. So make sure that they do that. One follow-up is when I go beyond this, my hope is to be successful in February, be successful in November. And the way you fight against power structure is grassroots. It's people who are behind you. And you know what? What I love about this is if we're successful, and I believe we're going to be successful in February, I absolutely believe we're going to be successful in November, that I go out to Washington, D.C. not knowing anybody except the people who sent me there. What a beautiful thing when they come up and say, hey, you remember, oh, wait a second, we didn't give you any money. We didn't send out any help for you. We didn't work for you. Oh, forget it. We'll find somebody else. So they got their leash on people, and we see that in Springfield all the time, where the leaders have the most money, and they come in, swoop in, and affect elections, dropping, hundreds of thousands of dollars or whatever, a week before an election. And then they put that leash on the candidate that as soon as they need them, they'll rein them back in and say, okay, you owe me. Remember what I did for you? I love the fact that I'm only going to owe the people who sent me there. Our fundraising has been from right here. People within Illinois, within this district, are the ones who are supporting us and getting our message out. My opponent's fundraising, the vast majority is coming from Washington, D.C. So it's just a different perspective, and it's a different allegiance when you get out there that I really can say, you know what? You guys, I don't owe you anything out there. You guys, I owe you everything. You're the ones that I speak for. I talk about it too, and Chris and I both have the same passion that we have, as I walk into the Capitol down in Springfield, I'm humbled to think I've got 200,000 bosses that I report to, that I report to them, my 200,000 people that I represent. If I'm successful here, I'll have over 700,000 bosses that I report to. I don't always feel very adequate for that job. That's a big job, but I can assure you I'm going to do my best. And I'm going to have that perspective. And I think even just having that perspective goes so far, that you're my boss, that I report to you. And as soon as I stop listening to you, stop coming back and being present in this community, you should throw me out. I should not hold that seat any longer. You should get someone who's actually going to represent you, not represent the leadership of Washington, D.C.
Sorry. So
that is